Okay, so today we're diving deep into societies.
Really fascinating stuff.
Yeah, but first, want to take a second and imagine you're Inaya.
Can I?
Yeah, teenager living in, well, we don't know exactly where, but
Hey.
sounds like sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay.
You know, she walks her younger siblings to the bus stop in the morning, helps with dinner, hangs out with friends.
Pretty normal stuff.
Yeah, totally normal, right? But she also, drops off laundry at the cleaner on her way to school
Okay.
and lives with her aunt and uncle during the week.
Interesting.
Yeah, because boarding schools
Oh, right.
got too dangerous.
Makes sense.
Yeah, kidnappings and stuff.
Wow.
So thinking about Inaya's day,
Mm.
it really shows how our individual lives are
Right.
tied to these bigger societal forces.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder.
Yeah, like how do societies shape us
Yeah.
and what makes them tick.
Exactly.
That's what we're exploring today.
Big question.
Yeah, we've got excerpts here covering, well, everything.
Wow. Like what?
Different types of societies that have existed.
Mm.
To even, like, the whole idea that reality is something we construct together.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild ride.
Sounds like it.
But by the end, I think you'll have this, like, a new framework for understanding how societies work
Yeah.
and even where your own experiences fit in.
I like it. So where do we start?
We've got to start at the beginning, right?
Makes sense.
So first up, hunter-gatherer societies.
Okay. The OG societies.
Yeah, exactly. And believe it or not,
What?
there are still a few around today.
Really?
Yeah, like the Bambuti tribe in Congo.
Interesting.
They live in small groups,
Yeah.
rely directly on their environment.
Pretty tough.
Yeah, total connection to nature.
So different from how most of us live.
Yeah, and I know, right?
Makes you appreciate how much our environment and technology shape, our social structures.
For sure.
So as humans developed agriculture,
Right.
we see pastoral societies pop up, like the Maasai in East Africa.
Okay, yeah,
Their lives revolve around livestock.
makes sense.
Provides food, clothing.
Even social status.
Yeah, it's all about the cattle.
Wow, and then
Yeah.
boom, agricultural revolution.
Changes everything.
Right, people can stay put, grow their own food,
I mean,
kind of chill,
yeah.
leads to bigger populations.
Okay.
Villages become cities,
Uh,
specialized jobs. Even art starts appearing.
That's amazing.
Like the birth of civilization.
Right. Exactly.
We call them horticultural societies.
Okay.
And then agrarian societies.
Gotcha.
Much more complex.
Right.
Hierarchies, specialized roles.
Oh, yeah.
Think ancient Egypt.
Oh, yeah.
Pharaohs, priests,
Scribes, farmers.
working together.
A well-oiled machine.
Totally different from those early hunter-gatherer bands.
Yeah, sure. For sure.
But hold on tight.
Why? What's next?
Things are about to get even more complex.
Oh, boy.
Feudal societies.
Okay, bring on the knights and castles.
Exactly. Knights, lords, vassals.
The whole 9 yards.
Rigid hierarchies.
All about land ownership.
And military power dominated Europe for, centuries.
And life for most people.
Tied to the land.
Right.
Social mobility. Forget about it.
At a big boom.
Again,
Haha, another explosion.
the Industrial Revolution.
That's a big one.
Total game changer.
Cue the dramatic music.
Right. Starts with inventions.
Yeah.
Watt and Bolton's steam engine.
Yeah.
Suddenly we can produce goods. Like crazy fast.
Mass production.
Exactly. Factories everywhere. Cities become magnets.
People looking for opportunity.
Yeah, new opportunities, but also
What?
new challenges.
Of course.
This shift from rural to urban.
Right. Completely reshapes society.
Think about it. Mass production needs workers.
Lots of them.
So new class emerges.
Ooh.
The urban factory worker.
I see. And that creates...
Yeah, it creates new power dynamics. Factory owners and workers.
Right.
Makes people question
What kinds of things?
inequality, the nature of work.
It's like the whole ground is shifting under everyone's feet.
Totally. Some see opportunity and progress,
Oh.
but others, like Karl Marx,
Oh, yeah.
seeds of conflict.
Exactly.
Wow, the Industrial Revolution was a
Yeah.
pivotal moment for sure.
Transformed how we made things, but also
That's right.
reshaped social structures.
Power dynamics.
Our relationship with work.
It's no wonder
Yeah.
sociology itself emerged during this time.
Right. So much to unpack.
Totally.
And now, fast forward to today,
Okay, here we are.
the information age.
Knowledge is power.
Literally, knowledge and information are the new.
Gold, exactly.
And figures like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, titans of industry.
Yeah, the titans of this new era.
We've gone from making physical goods
Right.
to creating and sharing information.
Globalized world.
Interconnected.
It comes with its own set of
challenges.
total digital divides, information overload.
The pressure to adapt.
It's mind-boggling.
It is.
Makes you wonder where we go from here.
Yeah, what's next?
What will the next societal shift bring?
Good question.
Yeah, sociologists are working on that right now.
I bet.
But before we get ahead of ourselves,
Okay.
let's go back to those theoretical frameworks.
Okay, the tools to understand it all.
Yeah, help us understand this crazy
It's
ride.
a wild ride through history.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
So we've seen how societies, like, evolved over time.
Yeah, a whirlwind tour of history.
But how do we actually make sense of it all?
Right. It's
Like,
complex.
all these complex social interactions is like trying to understand this giant puzzle.
Yeah, a puzzle that's always changing.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's where sociological theories come in.
Okay, the tools of the trade.
Yeah, they're like different lenses, you know?
Lenses.
Yeah, help us focus on
Okay.
specific aspects of the social landscape.
I like that analogy.
We'll look at three major ones today.
The big three.
Yeah. Functionalism,
Okay.
conflict theory,
Hmm.
and symbolic interactionism.
All right, let's dive in.
Cool. So we started with functionalism.
Okay, the idea that society is like
Yeah, like a well-oiled machine.
we're a living organism.
Right. All the parts working
It's just to
together.
maintain stability.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Emil Durkheim was,
One of the founding fathers.
founding fathers of sociology.
Big proponent of this view.
Totally. He argued that, like, society has its own
What?
unique characteristics
Right.
and forces that shape.
Individual behavior.
Right.
He believed in this concept of
Yeah.
collective conscience.
The shared
Beliefs, morals, attitudes.
that hold a society together.
Glue, basically.
Exactly, the glue.
Yeah.
And
And he called these external forces
Yeah.
social facts.
influencing our actions, even
That's
when
when we're not aware of them.
right, like
Like,
language
oh, good example.
exists outside of any one person,
Hmm.
but it shapes.
How we think, how we communicate.
Exactly, we don't choose our language.
Right, it's passed
It
down.
becomes part of our reality.
It's a social fact.
Yeah, and Durkheim also talked about
He made this distinction between
yeah,
mechanical solidarity
okay,
and organic solidarity.
two types of glue.
You could say that.
Okay, so mechanical solidarity is like
It's what you see in pre-industrial societies, like
Oh.
in Naya's community.
oh,
People have similar roles, strong shared values,
Levias,
tradition, shared experiences.
strong sense of community.
Yeah.
But then as societies get more complex,
More specialized, right? Like during the
yeah, the Industrial Revolution,
things start to shift.
that's where organic solidarity comes in.
Exactly. It's based on interdependence.
So, like, we rely on each other.
Even if we're different.
Yeah, different jobs, different values.
Think about like
Hmm.
getting food to your table.
Right.
Farmers, truck drivers, grocery store workers.
So many people involved.
It's a complex web,
We're all connected.
even if we don't realize it.
It's kind of amazing, but
Bye.
what happens when things,
Don't fit together so well.
yeah, when the pieces of the puzzle,
That's where Durkheim's idea of
Nope.
social anomie comes in.
autonomy, what's that?
It's this sense of like
Mm.
normlessness.
A lack of shared values.
Exactly. It can happen during times of
Right.
rapid social change.
So Durkheim worried that, like,
The shift from mechanical to organic solidarity
Right.
could lead to
instability
yeah, and a sense of disconnect.
between individuals and society. It's like society's going through an identity crisis.
Interesting way to put it.
And I wonder
Yeah.
if this relates to Anaya's story.
How so?
Well, she's living in a society that's like
Yeah.
grappling with change, right?
New technologies, new ideas.
Challenging tradition.
Do you think she feels that disconnect?
Maybe it makes you think.
It highlights how these concepts can
Yeah.
help us understand individual experiences.
In a larger context.
Exactly. But now,
Loud
let's
note.
shift gears.
Okay, where are we going?
Karl Marx and his conflict theory.
Okay, so now we're talking about
Power struggles, inequalities.
Marx saw society as divided.
Two main groups.
The bourgeoisie and
Proletariat.
right. So the bourgeoisie are
The owners, the ones in control.
like those factory owners we talked about,
Exactly. They own the means of production.
and the proletariat.
The workers.
So Marx believed that this
This economic base
shapes everything else.
Institutions, ideas, everything.
It's all connected.
He argued that the bourgeoisie
Yeah.
exploits the proletariat.
They're their labor.
Exactly, leading to conflict.
Constant struggle for power.
It's a tug of war.
And Marx,
He didn't hold back.
yeah, he was not a fan of capitalism.
He saw it as inherently
Right.
creating inequality.
He described those brutal
Factory conditions.
Yeah, long hours, child labor.
Unsafe conditions.
It's no wonder he thought.
Revolution was inevitable.
Wow. And then there's this idea of
Alienation.
what's that?
It's that feeling of being, like, disconnected
From our work.
from each other, even from ourselves.
Okay, so like in mini jump,
We do these repetitive tasks.
don't really express ourselves.
We're just cogs in a machine.
And this is a direct result of,
Capitalism, according to Marx.
it's like those old Charlie Chaplin movies.
Oh, yeah. Modern times.
Workers on the assembly line.
Endlessly tightening bolts.
But it's not just factory work, right?
No. This alienation.
It can exist anywhere.
Even in jobs that seem
It's creative.
big. Yeah.
It's a pervasive feeling. And Marx thought this went beyond work.
He said capitalism encourages
appetition.
individualism, leading to isolation.
Lack of connection.
It's a bleak picture.
And what about,
False consciousness.
yeah, what was that all about?
The idea that the working class
Right.
is tricked into accepting
The values of the ruling class.
even if those values
of them.
Exactly. It's like consumerism.
Oh, yeah. Always buying new things.
Even though it doesn't make us happy,
Or accepting unfair working conditions.
because we're told that's just how it is.
Like we're trapped in a system
that benefits the few.
at the expense of the many.
Powerful stuff.
But Marx also believed in,
The possibility of change.
right, that the working class could
Develop class consciousness.
recognize their shared
Interests.
and challenge the status quo.
He saw revolution as the solution.
Wow. Overthrow the system,
Create a more equitable society.
even if we don't agree with revolution.
Marx's ideas are still
Relevant.
incredibly relevant.
They make you think about
Structures of power.
how they might be influencing us.
In ways we don't even realize.
Okay, so for our last theoretical lens,
We're gonna
Max Weber
focusing on the individual.
and the meanings we create.
The foundation of symbolic interactionism.
Okay, so Weber was also concerned
With
with,
impact of modernization.
but he was particularly interested in how
Individuals navigated those changes.
our interpretations
Subjective interpretation.
shape our actions.
It's all about meaning.
He thought our ideas and values
Played a key role.
in shaping social structures.
He was fascinated by,
Elevation,
yes, the tendency to prioritize
logic, and efficiency.
over tradition and emotion.
Okay, so
Like bureaucracies, standardized processes.
the constant pursuit of efficiency. Weber saw both sides of this
The benefits.
and the downsides,
He described this, the iron cage of rationality,
where we can feel trapped.
by the systems meant to liberate us.
Like we're stuck in this web of rules and regulations.
Stifling creativity.
It's spontaneity.
It's like a double-edged sword.
It is.
And Weber also explored the link between...
Religious ideas,
Yeah.
the Protestant work ethic,
Oh, interesting.
and the rise of capitalism
So he's saying that ideas
can be just as powerful
as economic forces.
in shaping society.
Okay, we've covered a lot.
We have
Hunter-gatherers to the information age.
3 major perspectives.
But there's one more big idea.
One more.
The social construction of reality.
Okay, here we go.
It's a mind-bending concept.
It challenges what we think is real.
Are you ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
All right, so we've looked at, different types of societies and different ways of seeing how they work.
Different lenses.
But now let's talk about the social construction of reality.
The deep end of the pool.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, what? That's real.
Makes you question everything.
So how does this whole social construction thing work?
Well, sociologists, Peter Berger and Thomas Luckman,
Okay.
wrote this book,
What was it called?
The Social Construction of Reality.
Etchy?
Right. They argued that society is essentially
What?
a habit.
A habit.
Yeah, like all these routines and patterns
Yeah.
we inherit and then keep doing.
Through our interactions.
Right. They called it habitualization.
So, we're born into this world
Mm-hmm.
with a script already written.
Kind of. Yeah, we learn our lines.
We play our roles.
It's a good analogy.
Okay, think about schools.
Okay.
A school exists,
Not just as a building,
but because we all agree,
on what a school, what it does.
we've institutionalized this concept.
Given it structure, meaning
That shapes how we experience it. That's trippy.
it is. We take these things for granted.
Yeah, but they're really just ideas we all agree on.
Wow. And what's even crazier
What?
is that even ideas that aren't true
Yeah.
can become like,
Self-fulfilling prophecies.
like W.I. Thomas said,
If men define situations as real.
they are real in their consequences.
Exactly. Even if something's not objectively true,
Right.
if enough people believe it,
It can have real effects,
powerful stuff.
like a bank run.
Perfect example.
Even if the bank is fine,
Yeah.
if everyone thinks it's failing,
They rush to get their money.
and then the bank actually collapses.
Our beliefs shape reality.
And that's
Robert K. Merton called it self-fulfilling prophecies
our actions based on our perceptions
end up shaping reality.
to match those perceptions. It's kind of a loop.
It is a feedback loop
Makes you wonder what else we're creating.
without even realizing it
But how much power we have to change things.
by changing our perceptions.
It's a big question.
It is.
So, back to Anaya.
Okay.
Her life is being shaped by
Social norms, expectations.
a lot of which are,
constructed realities.
it all ties back together.
It does.
And symbolic interactionism zooms in on,
How those tiny but powerful symbols,
yeah, like
language, gestures,
shape our
they
understanding.
use them to communicate meaning.
But those meanings
They
can
vary across cultures.
Oh, yeah, like even a thumbs up,
Can be good or bad.
depending where you are. I remember when I was traveling,
Yeah.
I accidentally
Did what?
used a gesture that was offensive.
A cultural faux pas.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
Shows how our understanding
Oh, that's-
is shaped by our social context.
Right. And then there's,
Irving Goffman's theory,
what was it called?
dramaturgy.
Dramaturgy. Like a play
Exactly. We're all actors.
on a social stage.
Performing roles.
Trying to manage.
How others perceive us.
So we're all just putting on a show.
In a way, yeah, we choose our words.
The clothes.
Our body language.
It's all about,
Impression management.
and that connects to,
Charles Cooley's idea.
the looking glass self
We see ourselves reflected,
in how others react.
and that shapes how we see ourselves.
That's like a constant,
Feedback loop.
wow, this deep dive has been,
A journey.
a total journey. We started with,
How societies have evolved.
then unpacked those big theories.
Functionalism, conflict theory,
Symbolic interactionism.
and finally, this mind-bending idea.
That reality is something we,
Construct together.
and as we wrap up,
We want to leave you with this thought.
okay, hit us with it.
If we create our own reality,
Yeah.
do we have the power to change it?
What are we taking for granted?
And how can we reshape those realities
Keep those questions in mind.
as you explore the world?
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep questioning
Keep exploring.
and keep learning.